Hello.
Hi, how are you? Hello,
Good.
everybody. All right, good. So we've got a new intro video. We've got a little bit more editing to do, but we are we're we're making progress. Those of you who are watching, give us a shout out. Say hello in the chat box. Tell us how you're doing. Tell us what's happening in your life, and what do you want to hear us talk about? What are some of the burning desired questions on your radar screen? How do we support you today? Go ahead and put that into the chat box there as you join us. So did you have a good fourth?
I did. It was very nice. We spent it at the beach, so that's always my favorite place in the summer.
Beautiful. Well,
How was yours?
it was uneventful. Uneventful. We cleaned out the garage. My boys got some new gym equipment, so we were making space for their gym equipment. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah, the garage still has a long way to go.
Yeah, but you started, which is nice, and then you can just keep adding on and moving and making it very nice. That's awesome.
Well, you know what it makes me think of, Carissa? It makes me think of our like the metaphor of our health journey, right? Because our health journey is kind of like my messy garage, and like layer by layer, we want to organize, right? We may start in one corner of the garage or one corner of our health, and then move to another corner, and then we still have to maintain the other corner still, right? So we're still maintaining here, we're focusing over here, we get this in order, then we go over to this side, we clear this up while still maintaining this area and this area. And so, cleaning out my garage is no different than what we need to do to maintain our health, especially when it comes to, you know, I don't think most people realize, like, obviously, when our clients start with us, we always go through a detoxification process and a detoxification protocol. But that detoxification is something that should always be ongoing, right? We might tighten up the reins for a period of time and be real diligent about everything.
Hmm.
But that doesn't mean that we don't need to be mindful of our toxicity exposure and detox on a daily basis.
Very true. And they're everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
When you think about it, I mean, from carpets to cleaning supplies to cosmetics,
Yeah.
towel. I mean that they're everywhere. So
I
to limit the exposure is very helpful.
Yes, it's helpful and it's mindful. And I also want to say that we shouldn't make ourselves absolutely insane in the process either, because I mean, the truth is, we can't live in a bubble. I say that all the time. We can't live in a bubble, but we certainly have to be aware of what's around us, and almost kind of like pick our poisons, right? Like, what are we willing to tolerate and what are we not willing to tolerate? And I think in people's health journey, because it is an evolution, it's like we level up. Like, we're tolerating this over here. Well, let me level up, let me level up, let me level up, right? Maybe it's okay. So I'm not gonna eat any fried foods, and that's like down here. And then it's like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to have any food that has any kind of seed oils or anything like that. And that's like down here. And then maybe it's like, you know what? I'm not going to have any processed oils in my diet, even the ones that are considered good oils. Like, maybe I'll just have olives and avocado rather than have those things. And now we've leveled up to here. So it is that leveling up. It is that evolution that needs to take place. And it's no different. It's like, okay, the truth is, I do not own all organic clothes. I have not leveled up to that level. I still buy half my stuff at Costco, to be honest, right? It's easy over there. But we could level up to that level, right? Maybe we just start with organic socks or organic undergarments, and then we level up and level up. So I think what's important for people to understand too is wherever we are on that journey and evolution is exactly where we're supposed to be, right? And we
Mhm.
can't push ourselves, we can't beat ourselves up, and we can't get angry and annoyed with ourselves. We just have to take a look and say, okay, you know what? I'm here. I'm going to level up here. And you know what the bad part is, Carissa, is there's so much there's so much comparison that takes place because of everything that's happening on social media. Like, we have to like turn it off and be like, here's where I am. And this is the next piece on my journey. And this is where I'll go from here. I mean, tell me.
Yeah, I mean, it gets very overwhelming, like you just talked about. And I think that's great advice to share with people because it is where can you level up next?
Yeah.
For me, I just started with simple things of like my cleaning products.
Yes.
You know, like just swapping those out and even just making some my own with like, you know, white vinegar, water. Sometimes I'll throw essential oils in it. Or, you know, if you're peeling an orange, you can take those peels from an orange and put them in something with vinegar and let it sit for a week. And it's a great household cleaner.
Uh-oh, I don't know what I just did. I'm trying to remove the dot that's on your face, and I don't know where it is.
Yeah, I don't know why these new things are here either on the side.
I've gotta find it. But yes, keep going like you're saying.
Yeah, so you know that and then I'll do simple things just like getting a good herbal tea, making sure that the brand is really good. So, you know, the bags aren't sprayed because I love herbal tea and I think it's a great detoxifier.
Yes.
You know, it supports the liver, digestion. I mean, I use it for a lot of things. And then my personal care products, you know, I get very basic things.
Yeah.
You know, I'll use coconut oil sometimes, or I have just plain shea butter. And if I want it to smell like something, I'll put my essential oils in it.
Wow.
And I do that for my face too. So it's just bare minimum. Or if I want to splurge, I just make sure to have clean ingredients. But you can do a lot of basic stuff that work just as great, if not better.
Yeah. Well, I like the word basic, honestly, because we don't need to overcomplicate things for sure. It's kind of like you said, vinegar is one of my favorite cleaning supplies.
Me too.
In the house. It's simple. It's easy. It doesn't take a whole lot, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Lemon is another really great cleaner. Like you can, how many lemons do we throw away? Like take that lemon, throw it in a spray jar with some vinegar and start using that, you know, to clean up your house. And now you've like, first of all, you've reused something you would have normally just thrown in the garbage, right? But now you're getting that benefit. I think we sometimes overcomplicate things when really what we need to do is step all the way back and just kind of get back to the basics, make things simple, really simple.
Agreed. Yeah. And then even things like sleep hygiene.
Oh, that's a big one.
You know what I mean? That costs absolutely nothing, but having a good sleep environment,
yes.
You know, we talk about it. You talk about it all the time. That's just free from EMFs. So, you know, shutting off those electronic devices, making sure you have dark curtains, you know, not watching TV. That is a really simple thing that you can do that doesn't cost any money. Yeah. That really helps your body detoxify.
Yeah. Exactly. Things don't have to be complicated, right? They
Not at all.
Really simple. So we can get back to the basics and simplify things, because when we simplify things, then we can actually increase our acceleration to move forward and continue to unpeel the layer, clean more things out. I mean, think about it. If you just think about the environment of your space, when we've got stuff here and here and here and here and here and all over the place, it's harder to manage everything, right? As we simplify things in our space, we simplify the other areas in our lives, essentially, right? Now we have more time. We're not cleaning up as much stuff. We know where to find stuff when we're looking for it. It's no different when we simplify the products and the materials that we're using. Mm-hmm. Hey guys, give us a shout out. Say hello. Donna, yeah, you can use vinegar and lemon in the bathroom. Absolutely. The other thing I do use in my bathroom sometimes, like if I really want to scrub something, then I will use baking soda to help with that scrub. So baking soda and vinegar to really help with the scrubbing. That's really helpful. Hello, Miss Emily. Good to have you here. Ladies, tell us about what is it, where in your health journey are you leveling up? And where in your health journey do you need to start to simplify, right? Because those are two big things. Where do you level up and where do you simplify? Yeah, Katie says, clutter definitely creates chaos in my brain. Yes, well, if you think about it, there our mind is taking in so many bits per second of information, and when there's the more stuff around us, that's more stuff that comes in is actually distracting us from the other things that we're wanting to do, right? And certainly in the house, it's like more stuff to clean, more stuff to manage,
As I say, more dust.
more dust, like just more.
Yeah. And it really does overstimulate. It overstimulates my brain too. I usually have to do a purge every
Yeah.
once in a while, or even if I have too many dishes in the sink, I'm like, I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, go back to, those of you who've been listening to us or following, that Vastu is a really important thing, right? The energetics of your environment and your space, right? So Vastu, for those of you who don't know, Vastu sort of, it is the precursor to like feng shui. I think most people have heard the word feng shui and they haven't necessarily heard the word Vastu, but everything in our environment impacts our bioenergetic field. Because remember, we are bioenergetic beings. So when we literally have all of that clutter, right, sitting all around us, it's like, Katie, that's a no wonder why it's just like kind of coming at us all the time, and it impacts our field, our energetic field. So managing that makes a big difference. So Donna said she's doing home renovations as we speak. It affected my sleep, everything all over the place. Yeah, you want to try to keep things in your environment as organized as possible. And, home renovations they're never necessarily an easy thing.
Yeah.
But you guys type into the chat box so I got many of you are working on your actual environments in terms of cleaning them up. What's that next step in your health, right? Where are you going to simplify that next piece of your health? Yes, Donna, that home renovations are stressful. Absolutely. So I know Carissa and I talk with our clients a lot about even making food really simple and easy. Like we've gotten into this place in our society where we're like, okay, we got to make a meal. And all of a sudden we have like that, what's her name? Julia Childs, right? We've got the fancy idea in our head about the fancy recipe. And then, you got your 3-course meal and your dessert. It does not need to be that complicated, right? You can have super simple things. I mean, a side dish could be some chopped up cucumbers or chopped up fresh peppers, right? Or raw string beans. Or, something that doesn't take a whole lot of preparation, that doesn't take a whole lot of work and effort, but we can really simplify so that we make sure that we're eating healthy. Because it's just as easy to chop up a cucumber than it is to reach for something in the pantry that's in a box or a can or something of that nature, right?
Agreed. And, even just making that switch to like going to a farmer's market or getting something organic. So you're reducing, pesticide exposure.
Yes.
Is also very helpful. And I think you're exactly right that it is just as simple to cut up a cucumber as it is to reach for a processed food. And our body does get used to it over time, because sometimes when we're eating from processed land, things don't taste as delicious, because they have so many natural flavors and chemicals in them that, just, it's like a party in your mouth. So when you step away from that stuff, you'll start to notice, you'll start to crave fruits and vegetables the more you stay with them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they help detoxify you too.
Yes, they do. We can use our food as medicine, right?
Yes.
That is one of the key things. Let food be thy medicine, medicine be thy food. And that is a cornerstone of what it is that we teach at South Bay Wellness. But I think too, I like what you said, is just reaching for that organic food. Because remember, we're cleaning up a little bit over here and cleaning up a little bit over here and cleaning up a little bit over here. Just avoiding that excess exposure to toxins is important as we detoxify. And that is part of that everyday detox. Like I think detox is a buzzword, like, oh my gosh, I got to go on a detox. And, for some people that means, I don't know, a fast for several days. For other people, it means, I don't know, drinking celery juice every day or something. But that detox portion every day, limiting your exposure to stuff like pesticides in your food makes a difference. The chemicals in your cleaner, like you spoke about, makes a difference. The chemicals in your cosmetics, right? Like you said before, that makes a difference. Like, I don't think we always realize that we've got a lot more power and control than we think that we do over our exposure to stuff. Water, for example, water is so important. And having good, clean water is a really important investment for anybody in their home, whether it be, a house filtration system or a reverse osmosis that you put under the kitchen sink. I have videos, by the way, I made when we put ours into this house here. I have to post them. I'll post them sometime. I downloaded them to my computer. I made one step. I got to make some more stuff. I'll get those posted soon. Be on the lookout for them. But especially the water that we drink, because that is such an important part of who we are. So at the very minimum, having at least, a pitcher filtration like a Brita or something, that's like the bare minimum. You obviously want to try to upgrade beyond that for sure, having a reverse osmosis. But reverse osmosis, you guys, you have to add back minerals. So you guys know pH minerals are one of my favorite. It's that liquid from Premier Research Labs. You put a drop, just a drop into your cup, literally just a drop. And now you've got, the minerals that you need added to your water. But water is another one of those really key things. And then think about it too. We're bathing in that shower water. So if the water system in our house, the water coming into our home is not filtered, then that water coming out of our shower is going to be the same water that's, like tap water. Except now you're in a shower, right? You've got the temperature turned on high. All of your pores are open, right? And you're just bathing in whatever chemicals are in that water. So, if you don't have a whole house system in your house, then you want to make sure you've at least got, a water filter on your shower head. And those of you guys who order from Pure Labs, definitely you can pick up a shower head there. So Katie, the Pure Labs is it's called pH Minerals. It's pH Minerals, and it comes in a little 2-ounce dropper bottle, and it comes in an 8-ounce regular bottle. And by the way, guys, Pure Labs has a sale running until July 17th. It's 15% off your order, and the code is STARS 15, STARS 15. So they started it without a code, but now there is a code. So if you saw our post, it is STARS 15, and we will get a new post up there for everybody, just so that you're aware of it. But I just got that memo this morning, so haven't had a chance to do that yet. But STARS 15, and yeah, Katie, it's pH minerals, which is awesome. There's an old video I have somewhere in our social media or somewhere.
I think it's in the private group.
Is it in the private group with Dr.
I think it is if they search under videos. I'll see if I can find it and then pin it.
It's a great video. So what
it is a great video.
He does this experiment. So what he does is he takes a couple of bottled water samples, and literally your famous ones that people gravitate towards, and he puts the electrodes into the water, and they're attached to a light bulb, right? And nothing happens because there's no minerals in that water. So there's nothing for the electricity to actually conduct. Okay. And then he puts a couple drops of the pH minerals in the water, does the same exact thing, and the light bulb comes on. And that's because now it is conducting. And so you can see just by that example, just by that experiment, how important it is for because your body's one big electrical system. So we have to have those minerals in order for everything in the body to operate and communicate properly. So that's a really good one. So do look it up and check it out for sure.
It is. That video actually taught me that the pH minerals were like electricity for the body. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
The problem is we're just not getting enough minerals in our diet. I mean, you guys, you've probably heard me say this before. Everything is a food first approach, right? You can't sidestep a poor diet. You can't supplement your way out of a poor diet. You can't ignore a poor diet because there are significant health consequences to a poor diet. But the truth is, like, where our food is today is not where our food was in terms of nutrients 50 years ago, right? So our food travels far to get from wherever it was picked to our tables. Our farming practices aren't what our farming practices used to be. We're depleting the nutrients in our soil, so our food is having less nutrients. We won't even begin to talk about genetically modified organisms, because I think that that's pivotal, the GMOs and what's happening with them. But our food doesn't have specifically those minerals too that our bodies were designed to feed off of and thrive with. So that's another piece.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what to be aware of. And you guys, I'm going to touch on GMOs because I think it's important. And it's becoming, when I used to lecture like 15 years ago, and I'd go and I'd do a lot of lectures, and I used to lecture a lot on genetically modified organisms way back when. And I would stand in front of a room with 100 people and I'd say, okay, how many of you know what GMOs are? And I'd get like 3 hands raised. The tide has really turned. Like, here we are 15 years later, and I think most people understand what a genetically modified organism is. But GMOs they're becoming even more and more pervasive in our food supply. Corn, soy, canola. If you're eating anything that is from sugar beets, sugar beets are another one, yellow squash, like there are so many different things that are coming out. They're starting salmon and all of these different things. So, we've got to be really aware of what we are putting into our body. And when we take something that's been altered and changed at the genetic level, that has specific ramifications for our bodies themselves. And sometimes just removing those genetically modified organisms can restore somebody's health. Mm-hmm. So if you're looking for some of those missing pieces, get rid of those genetically modified organisms for sure. And people don't even realize they're in products, because think about some of our oils, canola oil, soybean oil. Where are those coming from? Those are coming from genetically modified, ingredients. So another reason to pull those seed oils out of your diet. Oh, good, you guys. All right, we've got just a couple minutes here. I'd love to hear if there's any questions. Go ahead and put it in there. Katie, try to capitalize stars, and there's no space between the stars and the 15. It's all one word. STARS 15, no space. And that should work, love. But any other questions about things that you're working on cleaning up, clearing out, or that everyday detox? You guys, one of the really key things that you can do too that can move the dial substantially is make sure when you get up in the morning, you start that day with a large glass of water, right? Bonus points if you squeeze some fresh lemon in there, you put some pH minerals in there. Or the other one I really love is the Premier Research Labs pink salt, right? Mm-hmm. I think salt's gotten a terrible rep over the years, and part of it is the salt that's available. That white stuff you find on the
table salt.
Yeah. Like, that's just poison, right? It's poison, but like
we're blaming salt what sugar did.
yeah, but good high quality salt that has all those trace minerals that's necessary for the body. So even a little shake of the Premier Research Labs pink salt right into your morning water too is highly valuable. All right, Miss Carissa, I know we covered a lot, right? We talked about
we did.
Simplifying things. We talked about the importance of water. You talked about the importance of sleep, very basic thing to focus on, right? We talked about not moving ourselves to the space of overwhelm where we're trying to do it all at the same time. We talked about that everyday detoxification. So what words of wisdom do you want to leave our audience with today?
Well, I think it's important that we also strive for a balanced lifestyle, even hobbies, relaxation, social connections. Those also can help detoxify your environment. And really, like we said before, and I just want to highlight it again, starting with small, manageable changes and gradually building is really the approach that's going to help you transition into feeling better into a detox-friendly home. So just start small. Don't go and start throwing everything out When it's finished, replace it with something better. And like I said, there's a lot of do-it-yourself things that we use every day, like the vinegar or the orange peels, and there's tons more. So just look up videos and find things to do yourself that are very inexpensive.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you hit the nail on the head. It's not about trying all these different things. It is about the consistency piece. So being consistent over time is what produces the results. If we just try something once and never come back to it again, we don't know if it worked or didn't work. Right. But that consistency piece, doing things over and over and over again, that not only creates the habit, but that also creates the result.
1000%.
All right, guys, wish you all a wonderful, wonderful week. If you've got any questions, comments, things you want us to cover next week, throw ahead and throw it in the comment section. We'll pick it up during the week and we'll see you all next week.
Yep. See you next week.
All right, everybody.